think we should film a WIP parade.
Okay.
Come on, let's get our stuff.
All right, I guess we gotta get it all.
Let's go.
All right.
You know what? I think this is taking too long.
Oh no, what are we gonna do then?
What if you... Okay, we'll put this one over there.
All right.
And then maybe if you stand here, I'll just toss them to you, and then we can set them where we gotta go.
Chain of command.
It's taking too long.
I'm loving it. Let's do this.
You dropped a couple.
Keep them coming, babe.
You got it?
I got it.
Are you okay?
I'm here.
Okay. Well, I got some more, so I guess I'll keep going.
Oh no.
Two more. Okay. What parade? Are you gonna make it?
I don't know.
They didn't really end up on that chair, did they?
No. Ugh.
You know, it looks a little staged. You got so many pillows on the ground. Not staged, that's just your nest?
This is just my mess. Just my nest.
Well, are you ready to film a WIP parade now?
Oh dear, I guess so.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Sanctum Stitching, where modern meets vintage. Today it is just Shawn and I for a WIP parade. My name is Fawn. I should have said that when I just introduced myself, but you know. Still a little laughing. We're still laughing from that intro we just filmed. Hopefully you enjoyed it. The whole purpose was to be extra cheesy with a little bit of more cheese on top. So I think we got that covered.
I think we did.
Like, my throat still hurts from laughing so hard. When the box hit his face, I was like, oh, that one wasn't planned.
Nothing like a little flesh wound to start your stitch day, right?
How dare the Pilgrims. Because that was my Coming to America box. So, that said, Shawn and I are going to film a WIP parade. It is not organized whatsoever. It was slightly organized before we chucked them all onto Shawn and then onto the ground. So we're going to kind of try to switch off, but really it'll end up being whatever we pull from the pile, we pull. Nothing is in start order or like oldest WIP, any of that. So it'll be a super informal WIP parade, and if some of the things are still in Q-snaps and hoops, and so I don't think we're going to take those out to show anything that might be covered. We'll just, when we have it, show you the outside picture and whatever you can see in the hoop. Do you have anything else to add?
I'm just going to be very excited to see what kind of progress we have on varying stages of projects, and perhaps it will motivate me a little bit more to get a move on some of these. So I think I'm excited.
Yeah, and we have a lot more than I think either of us thought we did.
Just a little bit.
So, on that note, let's get started. I'm going to start with Coming to America, and this is The Women of the Mayflower by With Thy Needle. This, I got a teeny tiny start on it, then I realized I stitched it on the wrong side of the fabric, so now it has to be a restart, But you can imagine when you stitched on the wrong side of the fabric, it started to get some stuff in. It makes you really angry. So I haven't gone back to this yet. But maybe around Thanksgiving time or late fall this year, I'll feel motivated to frog and restitch this. So here is where I got. And also, I am not a border person. Stitching the borders drive me insane. And so to have stitched like maybe a quarter, almost a third of the border, and then have to take it all out and stitch it all again, this has been in timeout for a while. I think the last time I stitched on it, it's almost September 2021 when we're filming this, and I'm pretty sure I was stitched on this when we were on our trip last September.
Yeah.
And that was probably the last time that I had worked on this. So it's been almost a year because I'm so mad. So that's where I got. And this, you could see the modeling on this side of the fabric. That's where it's supposed to be. And since it's so big,
It's very long.
such a large piece, I really don't want to stitch it all on the plain side when the other side is so nice.
Yeah.
So on that note, this has got to go away for a while. Still got to go away.
Back into the box we go.
And then we're also going to make sure that we're putting our projects away in the meantime, because if we were to chuck them on the ground again after not putting them away, this would be a nightmare.
Yeah, that's not good.
And I don't think you'd ever film another WIP parade.
I would, but I would be like,
You'd make it go on timeout.
yeah.
Okay. Do you have one that's yours?
I do have one that's mine. I'm going to start off with one that I haven't done in a while, but we found, and it is a series of projects by, make sure the front.
Yep.
All right. By Plum Street Samplers, Teeny Weeny. Now, sorry for the glare here. They have got a bunch of these teeny weenies in different variations. I know they have a couple winter patterns and a couple spring ones.
I think there's a fall one, a
fall
summer. I think there might be a teeny weeny and a yellow polka dot bikini. Don't quote me on that, but I think there is.
Right. Alright, so this is the one progress that I have thus far. I've got a good portion of the fire hydrant and a little bit of the front half of the weenie, of one of the weenies, and a couple little motifs there. So I haven't gotten as far as I would like to go. I think it would be good as a nice little pillow, as it has sampled here, but as you can see, I only have part of the hydrant and part of the weenie.
And so he's stitching on a mystery 18 count Ada.
Yes.
And you're used to 14 and 16 count Ada, so this is going
Correct.
a little bit slower on 18 count.
Right. I'm starting to transition into the higher thread count, but that one right there was one of the first that I was like, oh, this is a little bit different. So I'm in the process of trying to get started up on that, since there's like 4 or 5 different kind of weenies that we bought.
Now when we see a teeny weeny pattern, we have to buy it.
Have to.
So the next one is one of mine, and it is Country Cottage Needleworks Raccoon Cabin. This is one of the very first projects I kitted up on my own at a needlework shop, and I had gotten a couple in the Frosty Forest series, and I thought that I needed a full skein of floss for every single pattern per color, not thinking that, oh, multiple of these... Ooh, where's the camera? I'm so used to being on the other side. That multiple of these little tiny patterns would not use up a whole skein of floss. So that was really funny as I walked up to the counter to buy, and she's like, oh honey, no, you don't need all of that. And so then she like helped me go through and get what I actually needed. And so this is where I'm at. This is stitched with Sullivan threads, because that's what the needlework store had, and I really struggle with Sullivan's. I find that it breaks a lot, it tangles, and so that's why I've kind of struggled to get through this pattern. I think once I finish this one and the other ones I have in the series that I haven't started, I'll make sure I use DMC floss for those, and then I think they should go a lot faster. But I'm getting close. There's so much snow that has to go at the bottom, and I think that's really what has tripped me up here.
I like the colors on that one definitely too, like the blues. It's very nice.
Yeah, and Let's see, I have the name of the fabric. It is a 32 count Belfast in pearl gray. I feel like we should have things to talk about while we pack up our fabrics.
I know, right? Alright. So my next one is also from the Plum Street Samplers. And this one is called Raccoon Rabble. Here's the pattern by Plum Street. I absolutely love the charts that they have provided with here. They're very easy to follow.
Show them the little raccoon on the top.
Okay.
Look at that guy.
Look at that little guy right there.
All the way
See
at the
it?
tippy top.
And I love it because the Plum Street has a knack for stacking animals on top. So whenever we see something like that, I'm like, we've got to get them.
Mm-hmm.
This one I did not get much, if any at all. I got very disillusioned. I should have started on the raccoon, but I started on the branch. So, yeah. As you see, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on this one. But since it's getting to that spooky season time, I think I might be more inclined to stitch this now that it's got pumpkins and it's got the raccoons. So.
Do you remember what fabric we used?
Oh, goodness gracious. I don't.
It is I don't know the designer, but it is a glow-in-the-dark fabric.
Oh, yes.
And so we thought it would be really
Thank you,
cute
honey.
to do glow-in-the-dark fabric with trash pandas.
Literally trash pandas. It is.
So kind of germy and kind of germy. So the next one I have, and I totally forgot that I had been working on this, it is Rovaris, and to my knowledge the Rovaris patterns don't actually have a name for their patterns, just the picture of them. So I am working on these two skeletons, and there's a little bit of a glare, sorry. And I am also stitching on a piece of Fortnite fabric. It does not have a name. I got it in an auction when they were first starting to do their auctions. And I'm going to end up stitching very close to the border on these because the fabric color was perfect and I couldn't give it up. So whether I was going to stitch 1 over 1 or whatever I had to do, this pattern was going to go on this fabric. Can you hold this up for me?
Absolutely. I forgot you had this one too.
And so that's where I got. I have almost all of the female tail outlined. I have the male leg outlined or fully stitched. And so really I have so much to just go back and cross over because all of this tail is half stitches. But look at that fabric.
Isn't it wonderful?
It's perfect for this. And what I had done was there's only 3 colors, so there's red, black, and white. And for the red, I'm going to use a treasure braid, and it's not really showing up on camera. Oh, there you go. It's really shiny, so I think for the little bit of red that's in here, it'll be really cool.
Yeah, I forgot how long that pattern actually was until you stitched it. The bottom portion, I was like, wow, that's going to be a big one.
Yeah, and when you look at this, you think, oh, that's a nice, cute little stitch. And then even when you read the stitch counts, at least for me, like, sometimes it clicks and sometimes it doesn't. And then you start to stitch it and you're like, oh, that's large. And this is on 32 count, too. So I'm not stitching super tiny.
That's true.
Do you have any of yours, or are we just kind of, now are we totally mixed?
I think we're mixing. All right. I'm going to get this done tonight or tomorrow. It's just a little sampler. I think we picked it up really cheap.
Hobby Lobby or Michael's or something like that.
Yeah. All right, this is just a little home is where the cat is. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 8 little stitches, and they're white. So there's nothing on that one. I would like to at least get that as an ornament or something. So
So sad.
so sad.
But I think part of the reason he stalled on this was we were going to switch the brown colors to gray to match our cat. And so I think then you were kind of like, I think when we had talked about switching colors, you got really thrown off that you didn't have the colors specifically in your kit that you needed.
Yeah.
And then you just stopped.
I try to be a little bit more lenient these days, but it's like I need all of the exact same colors or it's not going to work.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're that way anymore.
I think I've expanded.
When we picked up that project, that was
Yeah.
like your third you had ever tried to stitch.
That is true.
One was not allowed to enter the WIP parade because he hates it that much.
He who shall not be named.
Mr. Emoji.
Let's not talk about the emoji.
Okay.
All right, what do you have?
So the next one, I started this one kind of recently. It's from the Crossed Wing collection. It's called Suet, Duet. And this is my 25/7 piece. I only started doing 25/7 on this about 4 days or so ago. But I had some progress before I started 25/7. And if you don't know, 25/7 is where you, 7 days a week, stitch for either 25 minutes or 25 stitches on that piece every single day. So you can really, it's good for if you have a project you're struggling with or it's a lot of repetition, and so it helps you make progress without having to devote a whole day or all your stitching time to it. So this is that's a lot of glare. I'm going to take that out. That's too much. Can you hold this up?
I'll definitely hold up.
And put it up close since I haven't really seen it yet.
I absolutely love the coloration of the birds. I love the fact that one's about to land and one's already feeding. And I love the design of the leaves.
And so this is where I'm at.
There you go.
This is the main branch there. And so I'm just sort of slowly going in. There's 4 or 5 colors in the branch itself. So it's been a lot, but it really looks nice and blended. I have a little more branch down here below the hoop, and I have the start of the bird that I started working on, and it's this guy's tail. I had that started when I was really, really sick of the branch. But now that I'm doing 25/7 on this, I've made a lot of progress filling in the branches, and it's a nice one to just spend a little bit of time on and not have to feel like you have to sit there for hours and stitch on the branch.
Yeah.
And the fabric is, I know it's 28 count Bestitch Me. I should have, oh, here's the label. It was the December 2020 Fabric of the Month. I'm in that club, and it is called Winter Blues. But it's very pretty.
I do like the blue. It's very nice. Like, I don't know if it can show up on this, but...
Yeah, it's showing.
Yeah, but it's very nice.
Looks kind of like clouds.
Yeah, cloudy.
I feel like we really need some theme music between, like,
Do, 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 do.
Okay, the next one, I haven't worked on this in a while. Ooh, there's a clothing tag somehow in my bag. Don't know how that got there, honey.
Oh, gosh.
So this is, I believe it's a free pattern by Barbara Anna, and it's called Light. So it's just the fox lady walking through town. I believe from what I've seen, the Barbara Anna patterns always feature a key of some sort. And I decided I was going to stitch this on a purple. I know this is Bestitch Me, and I'll check in the bag, but I'm not sure if I have the actual name for it. And not folded well, very wrinkly. There we go.
Need some iron detail.
Yeah, like I'm going to iron something I'm not finishing. And that's where I got. I really thought I had gotten a lot more done on this. But kind of for some reason counting over here the, oh, I can't even see if that's in frame.
Yep, it's in frame.
I'm like, hello. For some reason counting these, the light glow really threw me off, and I think I ripped that out a couple times. But I think the fabric's nice and looks well with the red, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep her dress purple like it is in the pattern, and so that should show up really well against the purple.
I think so. Yeah, it'll be a really nice contrast.
Let's see. And I don't see the name tag of the fabric in here. I might have cut off a piece from a bigger chunk, and so I think the name is still on the bigger chunk that I have. But I know it is Bestitch Me, and I know it was one of the Fabric of the Month.
Mm-hmm.
This is you.
Oh, it is me. All right.
Oh, and if you can't tell, I definitely have more whips than he does. But you're
I'm not far behind.
you're getting there.
I told her this weekend, I'm like, I'm going to start 3 new WIPs, and they're going to be spooky, and yeah, go to town.
But he's also going to finish that cat tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to finish the cat. So this is the one that I've been working on today and the past couple of weeks, and I absolutely love it. It is a part of a series of Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, if you're not familiar. And they've got...
There's a bigger version on the
back. There's a bigger version here on the back. And I'll flip it. There we go. So they have a bunch of panels. And yeah, Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. So
can you say that 10 times fast?
Hawk Run Hollow. I keep on saying Hawthorne Hollow for some reason.
You
And
do.
she keeps on correcting me.
Every time.
But there's different scenes right here with the spooky seasons. They've got the Headless Horseman, castles, witches, and stuff like that. And the one that I'm working right here is down here with the owl, the frogs, and all the eyes and the gators. And this one I've been working for about...
It's been your focus piece.
It's been my focus piece for the last... Should I take it out of the hoop?
Yeah, for that one.
Yeah. I just love the colors. When I first stitched the frog, I was like, I can get into this. So here. Sorry for the curls. I'm terrible with my hoop pattern, but that's what I've got so far.
I love this frog.
The frog,
It cracks me up.
yeah, right. And you've got a monster there. I love the owl. I love the color of the owl. Like that's a kind of like reminds me of like fall, autumn, and I love the gator at the very bottom too. So
you have to finish this corner, which is what you're working on now.
that is correct.
And then there's some more branches up top, and then
the top is mostly
lots
black.
and lots of black.
Yeah. So what I've done in the past with some of those, the black is I'll stitch the black first, and then I'll go in and fill in with whatever the branches are and stuff like that. But I decided to do opposite and actually do the branches first. That way I can put something on in the background. Usually I'm a nighttime stitcher, so I'll put something on like a podcast or like a TV program.
We watch a lot of Survivor while we
A lot of
stitch.
Survivor. So it's just something that, is easy for me just to kind of like fill in it, as the time goes on. But I love it so far, and I just think it really works, especially with like all the colors and stuff like that.
And so what we're doing is we're stitching each one of these pieces individually. I'm working on this one, which will show up somewhere in this pile.
Okay.
And then I had the idea that we were originally going to do flat folds, but I had the idea that what if I was really brave and stitched these all into a quilt with some spooky fabric between them, and then maybe we could turn this into a wall hanging. But I think it's really fun that we're going to do it together, and so it'll be sort of like a joint effort.
Yeah, joint effort.
And then this will get stitched a lot faster than if we were doing it individually.
Yeah.
And I already told Shawn he can have this full coverage one. I do not want it. You were saying just the other night that you wanted to try a full coverage pattern. Well, there you go.
Oh, I spoke too soon.
There you go.
No, I love to be challenged, and I think I will. So, thank you, honey, for leaving that to me.
You're welcome. My pleasure. So the next one for me is an EGA Petite project. EGA is the Embroiderers Guild of America. They have nationwide chapters all over the U.S., so if you were ever interested in the EGA, I'm sure you could find one near to you. And so this is called the Floral Needle Nanny / Minder number 3.
Say that 10 times.
And it's designed by Lorna Bateman. This was taught to me by one of the other guild members. We got together on an afternoon. There was maybe 10 of us or so, and we all just got to stitch and hang out, and this is where I got to. Oh, and I didn't even show you the project. I'm just looking at it like...
I love the 3D of this one so much.
Yeah, so this is surface embroidery, so it's definitely a lot different than cross stitch, and in my mind it goes a lot faster. And so each of us, ours are looking so different. While we're using generally the same colors and the same sort of outline, everyone stitches their flowers a little bit differently, fills it in a little differently. There's some bees that have to fit in here. But I think it'll be a really cute needle minder once I get back to it. And once I do, it won't take me very long, but gotta just get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to make a great needle minder. There's just so much detail in such a small space, and I just love it.
Yeah, it's a really cute one.
So many doo-doo-doo-doo. The pile's slowly starting to go down.
We need like fun facts to say in between. Okay, let's get this big guy out of here.
Oh my gosh, this one's
So
big.
this is one I'm stitching for my dad, and I'm pretty sure this is going to have to turn into one of my 25/7s because it's really difficult for me. Every time I say that, my dad's like, oh, well, you don't have to do it for me. It's like, don't worry, I'm going to do it. It's just, it's a harder stitch because it's based on a full coverage pattern. So this is Northern Tranquility. It's original artwork by Kim Norleen, and it was printed or charted by Shin Sun's Cross Stitching. And I don't know if you can hear, our cat is now crying and very upset that we're at
Hungry.
the table and he's not. So this is the whole pattern, and what I'm doing is I'm only stitching the ducks. So there's the big one, so the papa, the baby, there's the mom, and I think there's another little duck right here, and I'm just going to stitch the ducks. My dad's not interested in the cabin, he's not interested in the water, he just loves ducks. And I'm really undecided if I'm going to stitch the reflection of the ducks, because that also might not make a ton of sense since I don't have the water in here. But because of that, I had to lay out this entire chart, which the whole thing is 540 by 309.
It's big.
And I bought it as a printed chart in a cross stitch shop, so it wasn't even like I could use Pattern Keeper and sort of highlight where I needed to be. So I'll show you just like a glimpse here. I had to lay out all the charts and highlight, and you can kind of see here a little bit, highlight what was background, what was duck, and thankfully there was like one red color in this entire pattern, and it was in this guy's eyeball. And so I just finally found that one symbol and then was able to figure out where the duck was. But I am having trouble differentiating in my pattern between duck and reflection. So I think I'm stitching where I started was right around in here. It honestly might be here, I'm not sure. So this is where I'm at. And you could tell it's pretty big.
It's pretty big.
Is that focused? I can't see.
Yeah, it's focused.
Oh, I can see through the fabric. Hi.
Hi.
So I was doing pretty good trying to just get 1 or 2 lengths of floss in a day, and then got a little frustrated. So I think this would serve really, really well for a 25/7 piece.
Yeah.
And this is on Bestitch Me, another fabric of the month, and I don't think I have, oh, here it is. I'm going to say that every time. I don't think I have the name, and then I'll find it. So this is Bestitch Me 28 count linen in the color Escape.
I love the color so much.
Yeah, I think it's like good watery type
Yeah,
fabric.
like an aqua, you know.
So maybe in 10 years, Dad, you'll get these ducks.
There is a lot to be stitched, though. I mean, the amount of colors that are actually in this. And she had to print everything off.
I think those are the colors for the duck. Once again, I had to go through what I highlighted or didn't highlight and try to guess. So we'll see.
That's overwhelming to me. All those colors, like, and they're all so dark. So
Well, you
yeah.
wanted a full coverage
That's
piece.
true.
Maybe
That's
I should
true.
have you stitch the ducks.
Oh gosh.
That sounds like a great plan.
What's quack for no?
What do you think, Dad? Do you want Shawn to stitch the ducks, or you want me to stitch the ducks? Let's see. Okay, this is a big one.
Yeah.
This is my first wannabe full coverage stitch that I'm going to abandon unless I can buy some easy grid fabric, and then I think I might start over. But on the fabric I have, it's just too hard for me, and I'm not used to full coverage stitching, so it's just really, really hard. And so this is a Heaven and Earth design, a Shell Maiden Max Color. So if you can hold that up for me.
Absolutely. I forgot you had this one.
I have such a pitiful start. So here is the, if you take that away, the size of the fabric.
Look at this thing. All right. Yep.
And here is my start. It's so sad. It's like barely bigger than my pointer finger. And I wasn't loving it. I was doing tent stitch, 1/1 tent stitch, and I was just having such a hard time. I don't know if it's just because it's up in that corner where it's all the same color, but I wasn't having any fun. So I really think if I do it on easy grid and start over, it could be more enjoyable. Oh my god.
I think if you got into more of the middle, then it would start to take off.
Yeah, and I see.
But I get it. I
see
understand.
people do heaven and earth, and they're just so beautiful. But I don't know. Not for me. Not for right now. So this is gonna go back in the box and shoved in a corner.
I mean, to her defense, I get it. You know, sometimes I'm like, I'll stitch and stitch, and if I don't see like the actual figure or like what it's made out to be after a while, it's like,
Or you're stitching a raccoon branch.
oh, am I stitching a raccoon branch?
Okay. Do we have anything for you over
Yeah,
here?
let's do this one right here. All right, so I'm frustrated at myself with this one just because I've had it for over a year now. Almost about a year. I think we got it sometime in the summer.
I just want to say I found a pack of floss and I don't know where it goes, so I'm very disconcerted. I'm just gonna set that over here.
Discount floss.
Oh my god, where does it go?
See, like, that's something that you should be proud of. Like, what? Floss I never thought I had?
It goes, but the thing is, it goes to one of these projects, and I don't know which one.
Alright, let's see if I can find the front of this one. Alright. This is work in progress. Do you know when I got this?
Marianne, my usual co-host for Sanctum Stitching, gave this to Shawn maybe a couple months after we started filming our channel, so a year and a half ago.
About a year and a half ago.
I don't know when you exactly started it, though.
Right. So this is called Trios by Valerie Pfeiffer, and she has a variation of these, and it's called Sitting Pretty. Look at those birds. We saw those birds, and we loved it just because of this one yelling, and this one just like, and they're just so frumpy.
Yeah, there's a couple others on the back. I kind of want to get this one. Look at them.
Right.
So where'd you get to?
Alright, so I've gotten all of it done at this point, and it's kind of a funny story because I started on this pattern, and it took me like, 6 months just to do one bird.
Like half a bird.
Half a bird. And then, like, somewhere along the line, I picked it up. I'm like, all right, I can get into this. And I finished the rest of it in, like, a month. So, all I have to do is the back stitch of the wings. And I don't know why I haven't gotten this done.
Like, the tufts on its head.
The tufts on its head, yeah. So, you can see on this one right here, I have the tufts completely done. I've got the back stitch for the wings, and somewhere in the claws I have to do the tufts and the wings with this one and that one. But the more I got done, I was like, I love the colors, I love the blend, and it just like really works. So this one's been sitting for a while.
Yeah, you had to blend threads for this, didn't you?
I did. I actually blended threads for the bottom of the branch a little bit, and I was worried because I didn't know that it was going to blend well, but it ended up turning out pretty well. So
it's so cute.
It is so cute.
We have to not make it into a pillow. We have a very bad habit. We turn everything into pillows.
Because how many pillows?
Like, I just made a pillow out of his hickety-pickety cross-stitch last night.
Oh, it's phenomenal. She did a fantastic job. So, yeah, you know, this has just been sitting in a corner.
You're so close.
And I'm so close. And it's just, my problem is, like, I just got to sit and get it done.
You can make it your 25/7.
You know, I should. I really should. So, that's the one I've had for the longest time. And I just picked up momentum and I just stopped. So.
And it's on a 14-count mystery Ada.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see. It's like really...
lightly modeled.
Yeah, very lightly modeled. You can see through it pretty easily.
It's cute fabric.
It is nice fabric, so maybe next time I show it, it will be done.
This one I'm actually stitching for Shawn, and I don't know that he's ever seen it.
I'm gonna
stitched.
step out of the frame.
You can see it. It's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love my surprises.
I know. I've shown you the chart, I think.
Okay.
Have you seen this?
Oh yes.
But I don't think you've seen it actually stitched. So this is the Needle Love Company, or I guess it's Needle, like a Needle Little Love company. It's called the Herb Garden. And it's really cute. Shawn loves gardening. He loves herbs. So this is all you, man.
All me.
So I got a little ways, mostly just the border, because I knew I needed to stitch the outside of this, and I knew if I left it, I wouldn't stitch it. So I've half stitched almost all the border. Excuse me. And I've started on 1 or 2 of the flowers. You don't want to see?
No.
So this is where I got to. I had started working on the one flower, which is the marjaham. And each flower doesn't have all that much stitching. I think all I have to do left in this one is the back stitching and then the back stitching of the name. And I figured I would fill in the outside of this border while I was stitching whatever flower I was in. And this is it looks like an 18 count Ada, and I think it's flax Ada, but I'm not positive. Okay, you can come back.
Okay.
Dramatic.
What can I say? I love my surprises.
Drama.
Men like surprises too.
I know.
All right. What do we
Okay.
got? Oh yeah.
The next one is, I'm not sure which one I started on. Oh man, we got floss flying everywhere.
You know it's gonna be a good time when there's floss flying.
It's like give you flashbacks.
It's a really pretty color though.
Alright, maybe we can show this bag full of fabric.
Yes.
Or full of floss.
Let's get the scale of the project at hand.
So
Yes.
this bag contains 2 projects. The first one is The Lord of the Rings by Clouds Factory. It's gonna go on that orange fabric. I just haven't started it yet. But the one I did start was The Hobbit by Clouds Factory. And I have ripped out, I think I've worked on Gandalf and Ori. I messed up somewhere on Gandalf's hat, and that has caused me to be off on Ori, and I'm pretty sure I've ripped him out 2 or 3 times, and at this point I don't care anymore. So here is where I'm at.
That fabric is so fire. Get it?
Oh man, but I love it. I have most of Ori done. Gandalf's totally done, and his hat's gonna stay that way. And because I had gotten frustrated on Ori, I just put this away. But looking at it again, I really want to get these guys done. And I've been listening, I just listened to The Hobbit on audiobook. If you're on Spotify, they have an awesome Hobbit and Lord of the Rings audiobook on Spotify for free. And so since I'm in the middle of the Lord of the Rings, the first book now, I really want to work on these.
Yeah. We're going to have to do a Hobbit Lord of the Rings marathon when it's nice and cold and just go to town on it.
And so this is, I think they're both Be Stitch Me.
I
Or
think
they're the same piece of Be Stitch Me. I know they were Fabric of the Month. Before I say I don't know the name. I don't think it's in here.
I don't think you have it in there, huh?
I think it was Be Stitch Me either Phoenix or Guardian. Something like that. Sounds right.
I think it was Phoenix.
And this was Fabric of the Month, 28 count linen.
Fantastic.
Okay, can you put this stuff back while I get the next one?
That's right.
Try to have less of a lull. Oh, actually, this is yours.
All right.
You go.
All right. Oh, yes. The one that continues to be a
Now
project.
this needs to be 25/7.
This one needs to be 25/7 just because I've been working on it literally for, again, a year. And now that it
Yeah,
is...
I'm pretty sure you started it last Halloween.
It was.
And now it's September.
And now I've recommitted myself. I told her, honey, I'm going to get this done by this Halloween. And now that it's getting to be spooky season again...
Got a lot of things you're getting done in the next couple months.
I say that.
I don't commit like that. I'm like, Dad, you'll get it when you get it.
No, I like to set myself some deadlines here just because we are getting to be downtime at my job, so it seems like it's a good time. So this one is called, it's by Autumn Lane, and it's called The Lost Soul Cemetery. So this is what it looks like.
Look at this poor pattern.
It's seen better days. But the bottom is full coverage at the bottom. And you've got the trees, pumpkins, Grim Reaper in the middle, pumpkins, and the owls.
So it's really all full coverage except for this really light colored blue between the trees.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you're getting so tripped up.
That's why I'm getting so tripped up. So, I've got a fair portion of the top, but when I stitch, I'm like, gosh, this is big. So, this is what I have done so far. So, I've got the Grim Reaper. I've got a lot of the one side of the top done.
Mm-hmm.
But that bottom right there is just, for some reason, I just got to plug through it.
Well, you can see that what you started doing was filling in the black.
Mhm.
And I think what you've learned from the Hawthorne Hollow is really get the small motifs done first,
Yeah.
and then you can fill across. And I think it'll make it seem less daunting to you than when
Mhm.
you did this part, and you had to make sure you were counting and leaving room for that.
That is true. That's true.
And I think we might know your fabric.
I think it's in.
Maybe. I don't see it.
I
Whenever
have
I
the
think
link.
we know it,
Yeah.
I'm.
It does look like 14
only-
count though.
It's 14 count, or it might be 16 count, and I'm pretty positive it's Picture This Plus. But as for the actual name, I'm not sure.
I'm terrible at keeping.
People have stitch journals, and they actually use them,
Mhm.
and they write down when they start, what days they work on it.
Right.
We should do that, but we don't.
Yeah. So I'm calling myself out. You see this not done, or next time I come on, send her a message and hey, get it done.
Well, that's funny because one of the last times over the summer, you said you were going to finish your bird by our next video, and we used to film our floss tube every week, every 2 weeks, and Sean's like, "Oh, I'm going to come on the next one. I'll show you my bird's finished," and as you've seen,
Now I hold my head in shame.
should insert that clip right here. Oh, I'm going to do it. This is why I don't commit to when I'm going to get things done. Okay.
All right. What next do you have, hon?
Okay, Heather, the next one is the Sabrina piece
Love it.
that has
Wow.
been locked away for a long time. So I do not have, oh my gosh, look at how big this fabric is.
What?
This is, I forgot how big
Is
this
it fabric
was.
or a blanket?
It's, God. This is 4th Circle Studio Sabrina. And it was a stitch along. I think it might have been 12 months worth. As I mentioned, I really struggle with borders, and because this was the stitch along, I don't have the full picture, but I'll try to explain it when I show it. But there was a lot of borders, and I really struggled with it. And so then this had to get put to the side. But I love the insides of these, so maybe I can just get back to it.
Mhm.
I'll show you the fabric first. It's so much bigger than I remember.
Yeah, it is much bigger. That was like half the size.
Yeah. So this is where I got to. It is Picture This Plus Cauldron, 28 count. And so I have Sabrina right here is the very center. Then off to this side is the opposite of this cat. It's just mirrored. And then this is Aunt Hilda, and on the other side of Sabrina and the cat will be Aunt Zelda, and so it'll extend just as far as this on this side. But then you can kind of see where I started to outline the picture frames. There are 3 motifs on the top above Sabrina, and then there'll be 3 motifs on the bottom below Sabrina. And the insides, they're just so cute. Like, look at Aunt Hilda and that little chompra. Oh my gosh. They're really cute, but I just got stuck on the border. So I'm considering just stitching the other cat and Aunt Zelda on the opposite side and calling it a day. Not doing the top, not doing the bottom, and just having the 3 main characters on there, because then it would be done, and I don't want to get rid of what I've already stitched, but I just don't know if I can do another 6, 8 borders, because they're so thick.
They are thick.
4 each, and there's actually a lot of counting. I think I'm getting to a good spot because these corners are done. But there was a while there where I was miscounting and ripping out, and it was a lot. So let me know what you think I should do. Should I just finish going over to this side and having it be really long? Should I just commit to really doing all of it and let this languish for a while and slowly work on it? Because it is really cute, but
The designer did a very good job. Like, if you were to watch the series,
it looks just like
it
them.
looks just like them.
And so that's what makes me want to finish it.
Yeah.
Because I love that series. Except for the end, because it's over. So if you know, you know. But they just did such a good job.
Very good design.
So I guess we'll see. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
But it is much bigger than I thought about. And
I didn't know it was that big.
Heather is one of the people that watches their channel, and she, whenever Marianne will bring up this piece, Heather's like, oh, no, like, we don't talk about Sabrina, remember? Sabrina's in timeout, we don't talk about it. And so it's so funny, Heather, to have pulled Sabrina out and purposefully talked about Sabrina. And it's been put to the side so much that it's in a Ziploc, it doesn't even get a project bag. It's been demoted.
Oh.
But the pattern and the pattern is so easy to read. The designer did an excellent job. It's just me and my issues with the dumb borders. But that's not a unique to this pattern problem.
Some are more fun than others, but I get it.
Okay.
Oh.
My side is almost empty, but we have another pile over here, and it's still all mixed in.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if you have anything in there.
I think I have one more. That's it.
1 or 2.
One or
Okay.
two.
Let's go.
All right.
This is Unicorn Tapestry by Tiny Modernist. It is stitched using all of the called for floss and the called for fabric, which I have the original version where it called for Mediterranean Seat, but I'm pretty sure it's actually Riviera Aqua is the fabric. And I think the chart's been reprinted to account for that.
Right.
Oh, here you go. You were looking for these.
Ah,
And
awesome, by the way.
you were also looking for these.
I love my bobbins.
I just found a ton of bobbins too in the mermaid pattern. We'll have to pull
Oh,
those
goodness. All right.
out. And there's a closer version.
There's a lot going on with this one, by the way.
It's a lot of confetti.
A lot of...
And so this is where I got to. You want to hold that up for a second?
Yeah.
No, the pattern.
Oh. There we go.
So I have roughly a good quarter done. Excuse me. And so Shawn and I discussed I discussed and Shawn accepted that I would finish one half and then he would stitch the other half. And that would be cute to have sort of like a mini marriage sampler where we each worked into one piece.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of selfish on my part because I don't like borders and I don't love stitching the same thing twice. So to have to stitch that unicorn and flag all over again is going to be a real struggle for me.
I knew what you were about when you were like, hey, honey, would you like to stitch
How cute
something?
would it be?
How
Yeah.
cute would it be? And I'm like, all right.
But you do like to stitch, and I
do.
think it would be fun. I know, oh my gosh, Sarah from Memphis, Sarah E., she's using this as her 25/7 piece, and every single day she posts an update, and it makes me want to pull this pattern out. So I think I really will. Thanks, Sarah. I'll get back to this.
Just need to get a big hoop for it. That's my problem. Once I get the big hoop and I can just
and
see it in the hoop, I'll just be able to...
She said she was parking her threads too, and you can see at the top, there's so many, like this screen itself is used all over the place. And so if I were to park that thread, I feel like it would be a lot easier to not miscount on motifs and just keep moving along. So we'll see. Either you'll pull that out next or I will, but it is really, really cute, and we've had this probably a couple of years now. I wish it would say when it came out.
I would say we've had it for about a year and a half.
It said 2020 it came out. So, I bought this right at the start of the pandemic, I believe. This was my fun, I'm going to stitch this while I'm locked at home. And I didn't finish it. We're 48 minutes in, but I feel like we've gotten through more than half.
I think so, yeah.
We're getting there.
We're definitely halfway through.
The floor is a mess, though. Oh, this is yours.
Oh, yes, alright. Here's the one, my Christmas pattern. And now that it's, it's already getting to be September, before you know it's going to be Christmas.
I'm pretty sure I just dropped a needle.
Oh dear. Danger. Alright, so the one that I have is by Teresa Kogut, and it is called Joyful Scene. So we've had a couple of these of her patterns before.
It's a cute one.
And it's a very cute one. So it's got the nice, I like traditional Christmas, like the old-timey Santas and like the old winter-esque patterns.
Got it.
Okay. Crisis averted. My foot would have found that, by the way. So I like the old-timey Christmas patterns. I like the old Santas, traditional kind of like Nicholas, Saint Nicholas is what I like to say. So this is by Teresa Kogut, and I got a little bit done on this. This was the first time that I discovered that stitch goes a lot faster when you do the border first, and then you can just go filling in. But I don't have much done. I've got the deer and a bit of the crow. The lamb is fully done, but that's about all I have with this one.
And, well, this was a little bit harder for you because it is a 16 count Ada.
Yes.
And it might have been the first time he had worked on that. And it's, picture this plus conifer. And so it is a lot darker than the fabric you've been used to stitching on.
Right.
So between switching to 16 count and the darker fabric, I think that's why you struggled.
That
but now
was
you've
it.
stitched, because this was last Christmas that you had started this.
Mm-hmm.
So now, pretty close to a year since you worked on it, and that's almost a whole year of stitching practice.
That is true.
So I think when you do go back to this, you're going to find that it's a lot easier than you thought it was.
I agree, yeah. The past year, like she said, I've just been really experimenting with doing the smaller stitch counts and ones with like more color variations and stuff. So I agree. I think I'm definitely expanded to the point where I'm more comfortable stitching on smaller fabric. So
yeah, and this is also the first piece that he's gotten all the fancy flosses.
oh god,
So
fancy floss.
you got to splurge on this one.
We both have expensive taste. So when I saw the Weeks Dye Works and I felt it in my hand for the first time, I'm like,
You're like, ooh, variegation.
variegation.
But so now we kind of have a rule in our house that unless the fancy floss is really variegated and is going to make a huge difference compared to the DMC, then we're just going to use the DMC and save our money when we can.
Right.
Because otherwise these projects, as I'm sure you all know, can be much more expensive when you start doing fancy floss for everything, and there's like 15 or 20 fancy flosses per thing.
Right. Like this one, Cayenne, I love bold colors. And it's just so lovely. So.
Yeah, I was thinking like this one, the Tarragon. You can really see that there's browns and greens in there.
Right. Where the one I just showed you before didn't have much variegation, so. But.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yep, we're getting there.
We're getting there. Oh my god, I love that one.
So this is one of my favorite pieces, and I really want to get back to it. This is Gone Baddie by With Thy Needle. This came out Halloween 2020, I think, or at least that's when I found it. It might have come out sooner than that. Oh, copyright 2019, but I found it last Halloween. And I am stitching it on 32 count avocado. And there's where I got to.
Look at that.
So over the last couple weeks, I've outlined the whole kitty, and I'm starting now to go in and fill out the cat all the way across. And this was one of the ones, again, where you look at this and you think, oh, that's a cute little stitch. And then you get it out there and you're like, oh, that's a big boy.
It's a big cat.
But it's like our kitty. It's a big boy.
Yeah, it's a chonker.
Oh, gosh. But that's a really fun one, and I'll say I would like to finish that this Halloween, but maybe I can at least finish the cat this Halloween and then do the rest of it before next Halloween.
I think you could get that.
Because that's a lot. Just the cat itself. It's massive.
It really is. I mean, that is a big cat. Half the pattern.
Okay, let's slide it on over.
Just when you think we're done.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Less than an hour, and we've gone through half the table. And you've pulled a couple from that side.
That's
so.
right.
Let's see, whose project is this? Okay, this is mine. This is Leashy or Leshy by the Witchy Stitcher, and he is the guardian of the woods. I absolutely love spooky stitching, and this guy is extra spooky, extra creepy. And so the second that she posted this was coming out, I was like, okay, we're buying it. And I'm pretty sure I started it the exact day that I downloaded the pattern. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And so that's where I got to.
Isn't that sweet?
Want to hold it up?
Yeah. There we go.
And so I'm working page by page, or top half by bottom half, and I pretty much have the entire top half done for the inside. And so now I have to, you can see I've outlined the tree for easy stitching whenever I've got something going on. So I just have to go back and fill in these half crosses, and then I'll be able to do the moon, the opposite half. And because this goes to right about here, the bottom stitching should go much faster because it's a lot less covered. And then even in here, it won't be fill-in. So I think this will be a nice one to get back to.
Oh, absolutely. I just love the demonic aspect of it.
Yeah. And I had done Kikamora by the Witchy Stitcher, and I have Baba Yaga to do, and so I really hope she comes out with another one in the series.
Yes. Witchy Stitcher, very, very nice. I think that the boxes that they provide are very well done.
You're thinking Black Needle Society.
But this one is also nice. So I definitely like the demonic aspect, and the Kikamora is also phenomenal. Go back to her other videos and look at it, because I think she did a fantastic job.
And this is stitched on the called for fabric that she provides in her kits, because I had bought the Kikamora kit and the Baba Yaga kit from her. This one I had just downloaded the pattern, but what I had done was I stole the fabric out of the Baba Yaga kit to stitch this one, because I didn't want to wait. So whatever the called for fabric is on this chart is the one that I'm using. And it looks like 28 count.
Yes.
My throat's getting dry. Is yours dry?
A little bit dry.
Oh, a lot of talking.
You've had a present.
Oh, I usually stitch, not talk. I thought you were pulling out a project from over there when you reached out.
Surprise.
I was like, what's she working on? It's kind of starting to become a mystery for some of these bags. I'm like, what's in here?
It's like, I'm not sure you know what's in them yourself.
Yeah, this one is a recent start.
Oh, yeah, this one's good.
This is Stacy Nash Primitives Toil and Trouble Pin Keep. Again, I love spooky stitching, and the second I saw Black Pumpkins, I hunted down this chart all last fall. And it was sold out everywhere I looked, over and over again, and right after fall was over, I was able to finally find this chart. And so I wanted to wait until spooky season to start, and then, was it last week?
Mm-hmm.
Last week I couldn't wait anymore, and I wanted one that I would definitely be able to finish before this Halloween, and so here I am. And this is a needle minder that I had won from the Black Needle Society. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So this is where I'm at. I have the very top pumpkin done, most of that vine, filling in on the cauldron now because I think that'll be the one that's like slows me down the most. And then really the vines are simple to stitch, and so I think this one will go a lot quicker than
I think so.
some of the other ones.
Yeah, you've gotten so much done already this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I love that, and I think I actually know the fabric. It is a 36 count Edinburgh natural. And that piece of fabric was very cheap for my LNS, so when you're stitching on a smaller piece, you can buy some cheap fabric.
Really?
Because my LNS will cut to size, so that's really nice.
Yeah.
You should see this floor. Oh, okay.
Each bag is a surprise.
It really is, because this hasn't been out for a while.
No. Oh wow, okay, I forgot about this one.
Yeah. So this is a free chart from Owl Forest Embroidery, and it's called 100 Owls. And this was last year's free stitch along. This year they're doing Alice in Wonderland. The year before that they did Wizard of Oz, which I completed. So my MO seems to be a year-ish behind on the Owl Forest Embroidery. But here is the pattern.
100.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say owls, so I was like...
Owls? You don't think there is, but there is. I counted them myself.
Yeah, well, you could have had a much easier time if you looked at the pattern, because on the pattern it's broken up into pieces because it was a stitch along.
Yeah.
And, or like a stitch along that's released part by part. And on the chart themselves, they count the owls for you. So,
Yeah.
could have saved you quite a bit of
I
time.
could have, but you know, a sense of accomplishment.
So, this is where I got to. You want to hold that up?
Yes.
I really thought I had gotten a lot more done on this than I did. And I'm pretty sure I stopped and put this away for a while because I kept miscounting this owl. And that's why I have so many half stitches, because I just couldn't get it right. But I think for the most part, I could just go with whatever I have here, because it's not going to change. It's not going to like push this owl off if the inside of this circle owl is a little wonky. And you know, his feathers can be ruffled, right?
Yeah.
Like, owls don't have to be perfect. They're like when you stitch a tree, there's always a mistake. Because trees never look the same.
That's right.
And let's see if I know. I feel like I should know.
Yeah, I forgot that this is very... Oh, okay.
I don't think I have the page in here.
I think so.
I know it's an 18 count Ada, and that's all I got.
That's all I got? Yeah, I don't know. It's a Russian pattern, though.
Yeah.
You know that.
Owl Forest Embroidery is excellent. I haven't ordered anything from them, but just their free charts alone, which they have quite a few online, are all so good.
Yeah, they're very
And
well
they're
designed.
really easy to read.
Extremely easy, so...
All right, over an hour.
We're 1 hour. We're getting them.
You think we can do this in under an hour and a half?
I think we could.
I have to go order some pizza if we do. Celebrate.
That's right.
Oh, I think this one is my Hawkrun Hollow.
Ah, yes.
Do we know what we did with that page?
Yes. All right. Yes.
Okay. So as I mentioned, Hawkrun Hollow, or Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow, I am working on this boat scene, which is almost full coverage, not quite.
Yeah, it
See,
is.
I'm taking one.
You know what? Yes, you are, aren't you?
But this one looked much more fun to me than this one.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather stitch multiple blues than all brown.
That's true.
So, joke's on you.
All right.
So this is where I got to. Ooh, that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes. Yes.
If you want to hold that up. Or switch sides.
Switch sides. There we go.
I have, you can't see it there, but I have the We Are Afraid all stitched. The start of the mermaid. Probably half the boat or so.
I'm going to see it more than half. Oh, you have to fill it in a bit.
There's
Oh, the ship and the mast.
the mast, and then there's some flags. So maybe half that.
I would say at least
At
half.
least half. But then I'm going to try to go through and fill in all these motifs. And once the motifs are done, then I'll fill in the blue, the medium blue, and the light blue. But I think that'll be a lot easier, like we had mentioned before, to have the stuff filled in first.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is why I'm really glad we're stitching these together, because this is going to take me a long time. So I can just imagine if it's going to take us years to do this chart.
Oh gosh, I hope not.
Which you have to think about it, it's what?
It's 12 different projects there.
11?
11 different projects.
11 different charts, and so it's like stitching 11 different patterns.
That's
so
true, though.
I guess we can't get down on ourselves for that.
I just like how each one is so unique as well. Like you have the mermaid, octopus, ship on this one, and on mine it's more swampy. So it's just so much variation and just like different colors. I like the bold, back to bold colors. But yeah.
So, but I think this will be fun that I haven't seen anybody else stitch them on separate pieces
I don't
yet.
know. Do you guys know?
So
I haven't seen anybody.
I think that's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And it makes it feel more accomplished.
I agree.
Cool.
Very cool.
We'll have to figure out where that goes.
I've got it.
And of course, this teeny little hoop is in this
Giant bag. Oh, look at the bag. I mean, you got.
Well, we did have all of the Hawkrun Hollow because we kitted up the whole thing in here, and then it turned into just mine. I still don't know where these flosses go.
I don't know.
This is
It's
a
gonna be
mess.
yours though, 'cause
Okay.
I don't remember.
I'm sure, but where?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what colors those are.
It looks like a Hawkrun Hollow. That's what I think.
You think so?
I think it's Hawkrun.
Might be. Okay.
Oh, this one.
This is Clouds Factory Through the Stars Zodiac Sampler, and this was a yearly stitch along that they had done a couple years ago. There's a lot in here.
A lot of borders.
You know, I can't seem to get away from borders.
She says she doesn't like them, and then she chooses something like this.
Could you not, though?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I know the fabric. We'll read that first.
There we go.
Picture This Plus Gothic in 32 count linen.
The linen is really cool, though.
And I tend to do all of the Clouds Factory stitch alongs, so that's why I had to. And then the fabric is so pretty
It's so cool.
that I just had to. And it is so wrinkly. It's as wrinkly as it is pretty. Okay.
All right.
And this is where I got to, so if you hold that up. I started over here, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
There?
started over here, and I'm working
And
my
then worked
way
down.
around. I recently saw someone on Instagram, what they're doing is outlining all of the rings, and I think that is a really good idea.
I think so.
But, you know, that would be really taxing upfront work, but I think it would be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see. I did a good job keeping up with these month by month on my own schedule, and then March Madness hit, and I lost all sense of everything and fell off. So maybe this will come back out next January,
Yeah.
and maybe then...
It is very big pattern.
And maybe then I can do month by month, because I wasn't overwhelmed when I was just doing one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that would be a good idea. Bring it back out in January.
Yeah. And we always love the Clouds Factory. They're always really easy.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're really easy to follow along. So,
And a good price.
and a good price, very reasonable priced. And I absolutely love the fabric that she chose for this one.
I'm pretty sure it's the called for, because I think I buy the Clouds Factory kits for the stitch along.
Yeah.
Oh, rogue needle. Yikes.
Yikes. I have to go with a magnet across the table here.
Honestly. The only reason I knew the other one fell is because I heard it.
Right.
I don't know if you heard that plop. This is another Clouds Factory stitch along. Let's see. Oh, look at how pressed and neat that one is.
That one's nice.
That must have been at the bottom of the WIP pile. It got laid flat.
Right.
Oh, you know, the whole cover for this we just threw out yesterday when we were cleaning.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
So, this is Famous Women in History, I think is the name of it.
Could go with yes.
This will tell me. Yeah, Famous Women in History, and there are, I think, 24 different women across the whole pattern.
Yeah.
And this one that I have stitched is Coco Chanel and Eleanor Roosevelt. And so I'm in the very center. I still have to finish. Down here is like a plaque that has each of their names. And that's for each woman. I started in the middle because I'm definitely a middle starter. I'm too terrified to start on the edge and not have enough fabric. And this is also on the called for fabric for the Famous Women in History by Clouds Factory. And it's going to be pretty big.
It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
But it'll be really nice when it's done. However, something about stitching full-size people really slowed me down. And so I don't know if it's because these motifs are kind of spread out and you have to count, or what it is, but I'm definitely a lot slower on this stitch along month or monthly piece than I am on the other Clouds Factory monthly pieces. So I don't know, maybe it's just bigger in general, which it might be. I think this fabric, when you hold it up, is bigger than the Zodiac one.
It is.
So maybe
Slight-
that's just
slightly,
it.
though.
That's just it. That's just bigger.
Stitching full people on the Clouds Factory can be a little bit daunting sometimes. And then she had a lot of like the computers and potion bottles or other things that she has to stitch along as well. So
Look at you filling the time while I
right,
get out a piece.
doing my duty. I do like
Oh my
the
god,
colors.
I just almost started cracking up because I thought about our intro where you like flopped on the floor.
I had to commit.
Oh my
When
god.
you're an actor in training, an amateur, you got to commit.
Oh my god.
Put some ice on it though.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, this is a very nice one.
So this is different. It's not cross stitch. So this is from Nancy's Needle. It's a canvas piece or needlepoint, and it's called Pansies and Ribbons.
I love the symmetry in this one.
The symmetry is what drives me nuts because when I mess up, it's so obvious.
That's the only downside to it. But look at this.
So I'm almost all done. I have just this one corner to finish, and I definitely miscounted somewhere in there, and so that's why I'm kind of struggling to fix it because I'm not going to rip it out. This uses some really expensive fancy floss, so Caron watercolors and all those sorts of things, and so I just want to make it, I want to make it work with the thread I have left and not risk running out if I rip it out. So once I get back to it and kind of MacGyver, is that the word? MacGyver my way through that corner, I think it'll be okay. Because I've messed up in some of these other ones, and at least looking at this right now without staring at it, I don't think you can tell. So we'll see. But there is one more border that comes out after this one, so which I have to finish going all the way around, and then this will be done. So it's really close. And I would like to get back to this quickly because it is so close, and it's on a stretcher bar, which means it stays just like this. And if you do needlepoint, you know, taking this off or stretching the canvas onto these stretcher bars can be really tedious. So I don't want to take it off. I think I had worked on this for so long that we actually did have to re-stretch this.
We did. My poor fingers were like,
Yeah.
you guys can see how many tacks we had to put in there, but
So when I have arthritis, it's going to be from stretcher bar. So I don't want to run the risk of us having to stretch this again. So I would like to finish it sooner than later. And I'm so close. Probably a weekend.
Are.
I think I could get it.
Oh, you could totally get done on a weekend. You know?
Yeah, especially because it's outside. Or is it, once you get a couple stitches in, there's no counting. You just have to run through. And it'll be the same thing on the outside because it's just a bigger version of these straight sideways stitches.
Exactly.
So we're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, you already have the half of the main one. It's final.
Yeah, it's almost done. So. It's really close.
Yeah.
And then I'll end up taking it off and I won't fully finish it and it'll languish for years.
No.
Like my other canvas pieces. I can frame fabric. I'm really struggling with the idea of framing canvas. For some reason it seems really daunting to me. Although the concept is the same, for some reason I can't bring myself to do it. So if you want to give me some encouragement down below that I can do it, maybe I'll attempt. Do you have a project over there?
I don't. This is your other one.
Yeah, that's ours.
Oh, I guess it is. Dual project. I was holding on.
You're forgetting your whips.
All right. Well, I'll do this one. Give you a break. It's actually a dual project.
Yeah, mine's in there too.
I don't know which one is yours.
This one, the pink.
Oh, that's right, because you got so much more done than I did. Okay. So this one is Block Party, and it's by Hands On Design, and it is called Woof. And I don't have any.
It's on 28 count Cashel linen in the color cream.
So this is a dual project where they have, yes. So this is what it is. And I love the wiener dogs and the dogs on the top. We got balls, tennis balls, and a doghouse over there. And I don't have much done on this one. Go surprise, but I know that I've got it out
We're
again.
stitching these in mostly the fancy flosses.
Yes.
Since so many of them, he has the wolf block, I have the meow block, which I'll show in a second. And so many of them call for the same colors, so we decided to splurge since we would be able to share these for the most part across patterns.
Fancy floss. All right. So can you hold this up, please?
Yep.
All right. So the only part I have done is, as you can see, part of the wiener dog and the dog house here in the corner. So.
Oh, it shows on the bottom.
Oh, so it's on the bottom, it's a whole piece.
So you are right here.
Yeah. So as you can see, work in progress.
You like stitching teeny weenies.
I love stitching teeny weenies.
We even started with a teeny weenie on this pattern.
Right. My eye goes directly to the teeny weenie, and I'm like, all right.
Well, that's funny to me because I used to have a Dotson, which is what the teeny weenies are based off of. And ours was named Molly McButter when I was growing up. So it just like tickles me that. Also, I've never said it tickles me in my life. So
I've never heard you.
I've never said that, and I'm kind of horrified. I'm going to commit to it. It tickles me that you stitch Dotsons because I used to have one. So we'll have to make one of them black and a little bit of brown because that's what Molly was.
Yes.
And she was a little pig, so she earned her name of Molly McButter.
I've only had German Shepherds and Labradors, so I would not know.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. We mixed Big Dog House with Little Dog House because I grew up with the Dotson and then Chihuahuas.
Yes.
Which are like the size of your dog's heads.
That's true. That's true.
So, I am working on the same thing, hands-on design, meow block. And I am, I think, right here.
Yeah.
I'll hold that for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what I got done, she actually
a little
took...
bit more done than you.
Yes, a little bit more done, huh?
What I focused on was getting this pink border underneath all the cats, trying to get that done because I figured that would help me count better. And so I think that's why I was able to get more done than you.
That is
because
true.
I focused on the border.
She does tend to
Of all
focus on the
things, I
borders.
focused on the border on one
See
project,
that?
guys. I did it. And so now I'm starting to fill in the fish, which aren't really showing up here, but I think when the other stitches are in and then it's made into the block, you'll be able to see them better.
Right.
So I've got a couple kitties. Right now, because it doesn't have its mouth, it looks real creepy.
It is a little creepy. It's kind of a demonic cat right now, but that's all right.
But yeah, this will be a fun one when we get back to it.
Absolutely.
And we were kind of trying to stitch them on the same days and at the same time since they're so compatible.
That's true.
So maybe we should pick a day one weekend and just work on these.
That's right, we should. And I like the 3D aspect of it too. It just...
Yeah, and I've made biscornus before.
I haven't.
And I've made like the just non mice and those sorts of things. So I can do the edge border and like stitch them together. But I told Shawn if he's gonna stitch his wolf block, he has to put it together. So
yeah, I gotta make that leap.
I'll help you, but you gotta do it. And I think you'll feel very proud if you
man.
were to construct that block.
I just level up then? Is that what I do?
I would say that you leveled up.
You gonna give me a gold star?
I'll let you buy a new project.
You heard that.
That's like a gold star, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You heard that.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's fun. And I'm just really glad that we could share the floss. Because that helps a lot.
Yeah, it goes a long way. That way when we're actually investing in it, it's like, oh, this makes sense.
I think the only headache with this is because the strips are long and narrow, it makes it hard to put in a hoop.
It is hard.
So we have to put it in like the 3 or 4 inch hoop, and then you can only get over so far.
And the top, you can't really stretch the top very long.
And so that's why it's hard, because you have to constantly move and or switch colors. So
That's true.
I think that's why.
Absolutely.
That we're a little slower on it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I need a drink, but I don't have anything else to give you to talk about. Okay, this project has been languishing for a long time.
Oh, goodness.
I believe this was my first ever class that I took with the Embroiderers Guild of America.
It was.
And this is Walking the Water's Edge by Diane Herman. And I really need to finish this because it's been so long. You want to hold up the picture?
Yeah, hold up the picture.
Will I get a drink?
You get a drink. Alright, so as you can see, starts more blue, gets a little more white at the bottom. We've got a nice little starfish here. And I think, yeah, some...
pulled thread.
Thank you.
What you see here, there's actually holes in the fabric, and that's because you've yanked on your fabric in a certain direction, so that creates holes.
Like that.
So, I can't really see. Let's see. Maybe.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So I'm starting at the bottom, if you want to hold that up again real quick. And you can see I've practiced pulling my holes, and I remember the teacher walked by and she was like, "Oh, that's a giant hole," and I guess I was pulling too tight because she was talking to other people next to me and their holes were too tiny, and she was like, "Well, you got to pull hard to make sure that the holes come through." So I pulled hard, and I mean, we go to the gym and stuff, so I've got a little strength there to pull on my thread, and I mean, the thread wasn't breaking, so I just kept yanking as I went around, and so now it's really big, but I think that's okay. So what happens is, oh, I got such a tickle in my throat. You lay your thread, so you have to actually use a laying tool and make sure that you're sort of stroking your thread as you put it down when you go across, and so that gives it this really flat, shine, even look to it. And so what happens is at the bottom, I think the very bottom, we stitched with all white, and then the middle is 1 light blue and 5 white threads or something along those lines, and then each one as you go up turns like 5 or 6 threads, and so many are one color blue, so many are white, and then eventually where this was all white at the bottom, you get all the way at the top and it's all dark blue. So that kind of threw me for a loop as one of my first canvas projects, to have to constantly, one, load 5 or 6 threads into a needle, and also to have to gather that many threads together from different colors and make sure, you know, it was a lot.
Yeah, I remember you getting this project, and it's like, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and it
And she
doesn't
was-
look nearly as intimidating to me now as it did back then.
Mhm.
And then you can kind of see at the top I had practiced, oh god, it's a bullion knot, I think. I practiced this to lay the starfish, and because that had been so long ago, like a couple years, I can't really remember how I did those stitches, so whenever I do put the starfish down here, I'll have to practice again. But I think it'll be really nice when it is done.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know Marianne finished hers, and I believe she showed it on here on one of our very first videos. So I'd like to get mine done too. And we need to restretch this.
Yes.
It,
That's a little loose.
it's like a baby kicking.
Yeah, I just like the fact that, like, even now, you said that it doesn't look as tempting, and I remember when you first got that project and took the class, you were like, so, like, I don't know how to do this, and this just seems so stressful. So, just you
And
to say
then at
that.
one point, somebody was filing on the table with my laying tool.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So then somebody had to buy me a new laying tool. So now I have that and can get started again.
That's right. So,
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Thou shalt not touch wifey's tools. man has a codex or somewhere.
Oh my God. It was like, you know, when you always say don't use your fabric scissors, the laying tool was essentially like using the fabric scissors.
Yeah.
And instead of cutting something, you were just like pretending it was a pencil, essentially. I don't know what you were thinking.
I brought shame upon the stitching community. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Now I know.
Okay, we're getting there.
You're getting there, honey.
Oh, 7 minutes. I don't know if we're going to get pizza.
Power. Oh,
Okay. This one is so close to being done.
I love this one.
It's Baby Boars and Japanese Flowers by Gara, so Kayoko Maruka. I hope I said that right.
Kayoko Morua.
I don't know that you said it right either.
I don't think
but
I did
We
it.
can pretend.
Yeah,
Anastasia will correct us, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Um,
Look at that cute
so
pattern.
I'm working on these baby boars,
Oh my god, show them.
and that's where I got to.
Yes.
I love them so much. They're so stinking cute. This is my Frogwarts Year 1 needle minder. And, oh man, I love it. I want to get back to that. I'm really close.
She
Got
is.
2 more boars, but all of like the placement for the most part is done. Because one boar will sit right here, and the boars don't take that much. So I'd like to pull this out soon and just get it done.
Mm-hmm. Sparrow and Forget-Me-Not.
And
So cute.
I think I stitched that on a piece of color and cotton fabric of the month, but I don't have the name. It might not have been named. I just know it was.
Wasn't this one?
No, but I know it is color and cotton, and it's 32 count.
Okay. It's a nice blue though. It's like baby blue almost. Robin egg.
Yeah, I'd say robin egg is
Robin
very
egg,
close.
yeah. All
Okay,
right.
get in there.
I can see the table.
Was there 3 left?
3.
Okay, so
Oh,
this is
this one.
Frogwarts Year 1 Band Sampler by the Black Needle Society. And I have a little more stitch than you can see in the Q-snap, but I am working my way along the band, and I really hope to have this done by Frogwarts Year 3, which will be, I think, next July. So we're getting there, and I love the Sorcerer's Stone. I think the shading in that is really nice.
It's very well done.
And so this is the broom, this is the start of Fluffy, so you can see the bottom one's head, and so then there's the big old mirror here, which I'm sure will be the next piece I get stuck on once I finish the border.
Right.
And then this is stitched on a piece of Picture This Plus, and I think it might be vellum sand. Picture This Plus 32 count sand.
I like this one a lot. There's just so many elements of the movie that goes into play. Like I said, with the mirror of Erised and the sorting hat, and I love, like I said, she showed with the jewel, and then the quote at the bottom. Should I say it?
Yeah.
It says, "It does not." It
Can
does
you
not.
say it?
I don't know if I can. It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. Tongue twister. But
Yeah.
I just love the fact that it has so many elements of the movies and books. So,
Yeah.
and we love Harry Potter. So.
Katie did a great job on that pattern.
Fantastic. All right. Oh, wow. All right.
2 left. You don't have any more hiding, do you?
I don't have any more hiding.
I didn't count, so I don't really know where we ended up at. Did anybody count? If you counted, put it down below. I don't think I can bring myself to watch it. And
I think we're almost at that 2 dozen mark.
okay.
All right.
So the next one I started recently. I'm teaching a class to the my Embroiderers Guild of America local chapter. And so this is coming from Inspirations Magazine, issue 102, and I always struggle to say this, Lepidoptera?
Lepidoptera.
I think that's like another name to say butterfly.
Yes.
And it's by Fiona Hibbett, and I only have the black and white copy. And so what we're doing is we're each picking one of these butterflies, and then I'm going to teach them, it's a stump work piece, and I'm going to teach them how to, these are all attached to fabric, but we're going to have ours totally free form, and we're going to stick them in little plants.
Mm-hmm.
So to get ready for teaching that, or really just teaching how to do stump work, I have gotten started. So I have the wire in, I've traced, I have the couching stitches, and then I have a second butterfly because I want to be able to show the different steps. And I'm going to have a projector there where I'm going to have slides set up, but I don't know if the projector is going to work at the location that we always meet at. So I wanted to have both projector version and my fallback safety of here are the steps if nothing goes well for me. And so here's the second one. So in this one, the first I just couched around the edges to just tack the wire down. This one I've actually done the blanket stitch to make sure that the wire is secure when I cut these pieces out. And so now I'm starting to fill in with satin stitch and French knots and all of those things. So we're getting there.
Yeah, you are.
And this went a lot faster to fill in than I thought it would. So
yeah, it's very detailed oriented, very ornate. And I like the blend of the orange and blue. I think it's a nice contrast.
yeah, and that's what I had told the people that were participating in my class. Just go to your stash, pick out colors that you want, and let's just fill in our butterflies that way. You don't have to, you could spend a whole bunch of money and get the silks and the Krynics and whatever to fill in these butterflies, but butterflies look like tons of things. So if you have something in your stash that you've wanted to use for a while, like toss it into your butterfly. And so that's what I'm doing with this one, where I just picked random colors.
Which I think it actually works well.
Yeah, so I need to get going on that soon because the class is in September, so I really need to focus.
You
Maybe
got a
that's
really
what
good
I'll focus
outline
on
on
this
it.
week.
You got a really nice outline, really good start on it.
Okay, last one. 30 seconds
This is the
left.
last one? All right.
So we're not going to make it, but that's okay. So the last one is Cloud's Factory once again, and it is There's No Planet B. That is this year's Stitch Along. And I'm not going to take it out of the hoop because I just got it set up how I wanted it probably an hour ago.
At least, yeah.
But I'll show you the whole thing. And so I have everything in here stitched except for the dolphin and the seal. But I just finished that gorilla, an hour or two ago.
An hour or two ago.
And he is a beast. He's so large. I had thought that this Gariel had took me forever, and then I moved up here, and it took
a couple days.
the entire weekend, and we like stitched the entire weekend.
Yeah. That's
So
a lot of
it
feeling.
was a lot, and of course you can't see him the way I've like wrapped it up. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I'll pull that back.
Pull it back a little bit.
There you go. He's a big boy.
Aren't they so cute?
I love it. It's on the call for fabric, which I don't have near me, but I just ordered the kit from Cloud's Factory. They are all so cute.
Look at that turtle.
Yeah. Look at the whale, the turtle. Everybody looks just like they're supposed to. Let's see. Got a little puffin over here.
Yeah, right there.
And you can see there's a lot more over here that's covered up. But I really, really like this one. I'm excited to get the dolphin and the seal in, and then this piece will be done, and then we'll just be working on the top half of the fabrics. So that's that.
That's right.
I love it.
I love it so much. It's gonna look so good when it's all done.
Yep. All right. We don't know where this goes,
Mystery
but
floss bag.
it's still out here. It really might be Hawk Run Hollow.
Yeah.
I think it might be.
I think so. It looks the color scheme.
I think that's everything. Unless you
think
got
that's-
some more hiding over
I
there.
don't have any more hiding. I
We
wish
did
I
it.
did. We really did. Wow. We have a lot of projects to get done.
Yeah.
You know?
We have a lot of patterns too to start.
A lot of patterns, a lot of things that are going to be a challenge, but I think we can get them done, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the part of it.
This was fun though. I liked looking through all of our stuff, and I hope you did too.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us.
I know some people do these every 6 months or so. I don't think that'll be for us.
I don't know.
But I think we could commit once a year
Yeah, you know?
to doing a whip parade. I
That
think
would be-
that would be fun. But finding where all of these projects were stashed did take some time yesterday.
That was a challenge in itself, but I think we got the majority, and it's just so cool to see like how much progress we've done thus far, and like
And the ones we forgot about.
the
and
ones
how
we
you
forgot.
thought you
about.
got more done than you did.
I'm gonna finish it. Last famous words. Huh?
All right. Well, you said it. Your birds have to be finished by the next whip parade. They
Yeah.
can't end up in the whip parade.
No, I can't. We'll get it done.
So, on that note, we're so glad that you chose to stick with us to the end. We hope you loved the intro. We had a blast filming that. I have not laughed that hard in so long. And Marianne and I will be back soon, in just a couple days, to film our August update for FlossTube. And so we hope you'll come back and watch that. Do you have anything else?
Nope, I'll be around every now and then to show you how much I got done, and as I'm challenging myself to be a male stitcher in the community, so...
You are a male stitcher.
Yes, I am a male stitcher.
You should start posting on Instagram and...
Yes.
So if you're on Instagram, I'm at Sanctum Stitching.
And I am at Shawn M. Stevens 90.
So definitely come check us out. Like, follow, subscribe, you know, the whole drill.
Yes.
And yeah, so we had a blast and we'll let you go. So have a wonderful rest of your day, weekend, night, morning, wherever it is that you're watching this. And we'll talk to you soon.
Mm.
Bye.
Bye.